Wall Street ends up for Monday, the sixth consecutive run for Wall Street, continuing its best run since October. Meantime, overnight, we actually saw the third stimulus package bill. In the video right before this, I go over the provisions of the third stimulus package bill as detailed in the actual bill itself. And it's really exciting. $1,400 stimulus check for individual, $2,800 for a married couple, and $1,400 for a child. We actually have now the bill. But the question is whether the bill is going to get modified to turn to multiple stimulus checks. And then what about minimum wage? If minimum wage is going to fall apart, will that other money be dedicated for more FPUC retro? And what about student aid, or what about the CDC? I have all that big news for a big morning as the continuation of Early Mornings LLA continues with your biggest updates on third stimulus check and third stimulus package. I'm so excited for you. The toast is toast and the butter is butter, and I'm here, you're here. And let's get right to it on Early Mornings LALATE. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Los Angeles and welcome to LALATE with your big update for Tuesday morning from Wall Street to Main Street, from my home to your home. Thank you for joining me on Early Mornings LALATE, the 6:30 edition. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. This is the most comprehensive, most in-depth, and most around-the-clock recording channel you'll ever see. The best financial news channel on the map, delivering you details and coverage like nowhere else. So make sure you subscribe. Also like this video. And if you're not become a member, consider becoming a member. Overnight, viewers as members of this channel got 9 PDFs which delineate some of the most important bill provisions of the third stimulus package. Yes, this channel obtained 9 PDFs from a House subcommittee that shows the big items, the big ticket items of the third stimulus package. And those members got those PDFs before anyone else. That's what you're going to see over the next few weeks on this channel as you ensure that you get the stimulus before anyone else. A lot of these provisions are first come, first serve. And with that, there's so much happening, so make sure you become a member. The member link is in the pinned comment, also at the top of the chat. Purple Power, Purple Hawk, or Calcino VIP. And over there is an instant chat. You can chat with your Purple Power buddies about what you think about the bill, what you're worried about the bill, and your thoughts and comments as well. It's an instant premiere, and it's featured every day here on Early Mornings LALATE, both the 6 and 6:30 edition. Meantime, if you missed EIDL and Overnight's LALATE, catch it. It goes over the EIDL grant. You need to watch that because the EIDL grant is back in the third stimulus package. You need to watch the hazard pay video from Overnight's LALATE because that's in the third stimulus package as well. And the FPUC retro you need to watch because that's in the third stimulus package as well. And with that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you start the new morning is that Wall Street was up yesterday. Dow went up about 158 points approximately. NASDAQ was up about a couple points here and there. Both ended up strong for the day, but more importantly, this was the 6th consecutive run for Wall Street, and it's the best run it's had since October. So will that continue? More earnings are expected today across the board. And the big issue as you start the new day is whether that minimum wage of $15 an hour, which Joe Biden put in the third stimulus package, will survive. Or if they take it out, can they do more FPUC retro? That's what viewers of this channel have been pushing on social media. If you take out that minimum wage, or if it falls out, then do more FPUC retro. Now, here's a twist that you're hearing for the first time on Early Mornings LALATE. You want to push for the FPUC retro now because by all accounts, it looks like the Democrats are going to leave the minimum wage in there to the 11th hour and see when it lands in the Senate if it will survive against who's the person called the Senate parliamentarian. That person may take it out. At that point, it's too late to put FPUC retro in. What am I referring to? FPUC under the third stimulus package, as represented by Joe Biden, and we certainly have to look through these documents, is now to August 31st. The running time of them is certainly up for debate. We were told it was going to go back to July 2020. Then we were told it's to July 2021. January 2021. So now we keep on seeing these different dates. The question is, where should Ways and Means put it? What am I referring to? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and potentially Friday this week, the House Subcommittee Ways and Means will be going over the FPUC part of the third stimulus package. And this is what they said about what they're working on. It increases the weekly benefits from $300 to $400 a week. We know that. But what is the period of time? Well, that provision is part of a major PDF released yesterday. There is one called Budget Reconciliation Legislative Recommendations relating to crisis for unemployed workers. So that goes through it and figures out how to modify FPUC. If you don't like the language, then as a member, download that PDF ASAP, open the language, and get on social media and tweet Neil, Representative Neil, who wrote it. Here's the bill. Here's his name, Neil. And say, I don't like that section of the FPUC where it talks about the date of eligibility of FPUC. Turn to the section and say, I think it should go back further. Meantime, if you have opinions about it as well, send those opinions to me in private message. I will make sure that the tweet gets out very loud and clear. When you're looking at the bill, you want to look at the provision and see the paragraphs and see what it says about that FPUC. And if it's not where you think it should be, which is very possible, if you think it should go much further, then get that message out and loud and clear, because now this is the time. They're modifying languages right now. Why did I start the video with MSC? Because ironically, the guy who wrote this, Neil, who is chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, started Monday talking about multiple stimulus checks. What? He wanted to modify this bill, which is written by Joe Biden, and switch the earned income tax credit $3,600 into 12 $300 checks, multiple stimulus checks. Why would you do that? No one understands it. Viewers of this channel don't understand. I don't understand it. The earned income tax credit, it triggers when you file a tax return. If it qualifies for a tax refund, it does. $3,600 in your pocket. Very, very simple. So what does this guy try to do? He tries to take $3,600 and split it over 12 months with $300 every month in the mail from the IRS. No, we like the $3,600 up front. Thank you, sir. So that doesn't make any sense. MSC, yeah, thank you for the thoughts and wishes. Just do it right way. Not taking a tax credit and turning it into a pay over time. But the minimum wage could fall apart. The CBO yesterday issued a news statement and said, you know, the $15 an hour federal minimum wage would help a lot of people, but also hurt things. It would bring 1 million people out of poverty, but it would also cost $333 billion, and it would also cause 1.4 million job losses by 2025. Wow. So basically saying 1 million people would come out of poverty, but 1.5 million people would also lose jobs. Why would they lose jobs? Because this is the scenario. The employer would spend more money to hire someone. That would cause the employer to increase the price of goods. The increased price of goods would result in less people buying the price of goods because it costs too much to buy. Then the employer would sell less cost of goods, and that would result in the employer laying people off because the employer would not be making more money. Bottom line is the employer makes less money, they lay people off, jobs are cut. So people get more money if they have a job, but less people would have a job. Make sense? This is up for discussion. Obviously, this is the Congressional Budget Office. This is not a partisan organization. This is a nonpartisan organization. And the increased budget labor costs for firms considering the larger amount, the net effect on the budget deficit that period. So the bottom line is, I conservatively estimate that a $15 minimum wage in 2025 and thereafter would have a positive effect on the federal budget, says Michael Reich, UC Berkeley professor. But the question is whether it helps in the long run. Bottom line, the only reason to bring it up is the following. Joe Biden doesn't think it's going to survive this bill. He thinks it's going to have to go in his own bill. So why not take it out now? Why fight for something that the president who wrote, the author of the bill, the president of the United States, why fight for something the president thinks is not going to survive? Why not take it out now and give more FPUC retro? If you're going to do a standalone bill for it, which he actually said on Friday on CBS News, then Joe Biden should do a standalone bill for the $15 federal minimum wage raise, and then increase FPUC more retro. It just makes more sense. Then how about student aid? Well, student aid got a lot of big push over the weekend. Senators from all sides of the spectrum came out and said, we're going to do this. Chuck Schumer, Elizabeth Warren, and others said, we got to pass this right now. Schumer said, during this time of historic and overlapping crisis, we are disproportionately impacting communities of color and must do everything in our power to relief to the American people, lift up our struggling economy, Schumer said. So it's a $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness, meaning if you have a federal student loan, it would be forgiven. It doesn't matter how old it is, how old you are, $50,000, up to $50,000. 80% of federal loans, student loans, would be forgiven. This would drop the national federal loans from $1.7 trillion to $700 billion. Democrats are committed to big, bold action. This resolution helps to cancel $50,000 of federal student loan debt as one of the strongest steps the president can do to achieve these goals. Debt cancellation has a tremendous impact on the most impacted by the pandemic, Black Americans, older borrowers, and recent graduates, says Alexis Goldstein, Senior Policy Analysis for the Americans with Financial Reform. The most important takeaway from this is actually threefold. One, it shows that 2021 will be a different year. You're not going to have package after package, stimulus package after stimulus package. You're going to have this stimulus package, the third one, and then you have bill. You'll have another big stimulus package in the summer, and then more bills. Thursday and Friday last week, we had 2 bills introduced and talk of a third. We had this one introduced, we had the baby bill introduced, and we had talk of the $15 an hour minimum wage as a standalone bill. What's important to understand is that's great news for every viewer of this channel, whether you're on benefits like SSI or SSGI. You're wondering how and where is your bill going to do. These people are writing bills like it's running out of water. They're writing bill after bill after bill. It's all great news. So have patience because they're getting to each bill at a time. The other big thing from this is that this is from Elizabeth Warren. She's the person who was behind the SSI and SSDI documents. She's the one who wrote everything that emerged into and became the center of the Biden campaign and his transition statement. So when you think about the $200 a month and the 20% increase and the new benchmark, that came from Warren. She's the one who spoke about it 2 weeks ago on Broadcast News on Sunday. She's the one you want to push. She's the one you want to tag on social media, and she's the one you want to push and hope and support to get her to introduce that bill next, just like this one. If you have questions or comments today's video, drop them in the comments below. I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. Coming up later today is more about the exciting great news. What you're going to see here on this channel is a lot of information in a very short period of time. You have in a third stimulus package bill, a 6,000, 10,000 page bill. All the parts that belong in certain subcommittees are in those subcommittees now. And in the renewed transparency of 2021, this channel is able to obtain those documents and show them to you so you understand what they are. Because ultimately, third stimulus is about pouncing and getting the money before anyone else. I want you to be informed and educated to know what things are, to know what needs to be modified so as purple power you go on social media and push, and to be able to pounce as soon as it goes live. Stay informed, stay focused, make sure you subscribe, and as always, stay with LALATE for more. If you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. And if you look through the bill and you see something that you don't particularly like, send me a DM. Say, can you open that one PDF? I don't like that paragraph. It doesn't look good. Ultimately, there's a lot of pages here. Over the next few weeks, there's going to be thousands and thousands of pages. Someone's going to catch something that someone else is not going to see. And you may say, big red flag, LALATE, get this message out. Make a recording. Tell people. I'll share them information. You share it as well. Stay with LALATE for more.